What's wrong?
She's been quiet.
Okay. I basically thought us chatting about doing the intro was going to be the intro, but okay.
No, let's go. Come on.
Yeah, should we go?
Right, who's introducing who?
You're the moderator. So.
Hi. My name is Alex.
No.
Welcome to the Dorks Deduction Podcast, where we talk about stuff.
That's my name.
Hi, welcome to a new episode of the Dorks Deduction. We haven't been around for a while, so you might not remember us. I'm the Asian person whose name no one can say. And you are?
I'm a non-Asian person. My name is Chris, and I can
So, what is it?
It's Jim, and I can only apologise to my co-speakers for my breath is a mixture of energy drink and coffee right now, mixed with Foster's and
Doritos.
and Doritos or burritos and Doritos. So hello, nice to see you guys again, and we have someone else on with us as well. Hello.
Hello. My name's Alex. It's the first ever podcast I've ever done in my life.
But you've done radio before.
That was
that's
great.
Different.
That was a great start.
Yeah, this is like podcast.
You're going to be famous, baby.
So we dug into the Make-A-Wish Foundation and found Alex.
Thanks, guys. I wanted to swim with dolphins, but I guess making a podcast with you two is fine.
But, well, obviously, they saw that as swim with the big fish. So there you go.
We are the big fish.
As long as you let me see your blowhole later.
So it's been a while
First
since...
podcast joke.
Second, actually. You are the joke. Anyway.
Oh, here we go. Getting into semantics again.
So anyway, it's been a while since we actually recorded. There's been reasons for that. We have lives. We have lost a member.
That's like the biggest lampshading of a reason, isn't it? We have lives.
We have
don't need to tell
lives.
the details.
We have a reason to do this now because we're part of the wonderful, magnificent milk and cereal production company / website / digital outlet. Conglomerate, yeah.
There we go.
It is one of the big studios.
It is one of the big studios that we've invested in.
By the time this comes out, 22.
Wait, you're being optimistic.
I'm being optimistic. That's at least 30 years away. But still, hello and welcome back to the Dork Seduction. It's been a while. That is the gist of what we were trying to get across. Today, we have a very fascinating topic. What is it?
Matt getting put in prison for jaywalking? Yeah.
Funny enough, he got put in prison for jaywalking. How long's he been in there now?
I think he got a life sentence.
You haven't told him it was me, have you? That's all right.
I didn't get called to the witness stand.
That's fine.
He thought I'd lie.
No one actually went to see him to the trial, so that's why he's in jail.
It's weird how all of the fucked up shit he's done, not gotten any trouble for. Like, he's only done small sentences. The jaywalking, life sentence.
To be fair, it was Clapham Common, and I thought you could walk everyone Clapham Common, so it was just surprising that there was a cop to put him away. But yeah, so there's a whole reason we are here, and it's a very morbid topic, but one we do have to talk about. That is...
It's pick a perv.
Pick a perv, pretty much.
We're picking a perv.
We're picking a perv.
Come on.
But before we get into the nitty-gritty, Alex suggested we start off with a game.
And it might be something we make quite sequential, every now and then, a series of...
Are you saying that we set up segues? Because I don't think I've ever set up a segue during a podcast episode ever in my life.
A segue.
I'm a segue guy. I like a sequence. I like a tune in for Wonky Donkey on SMTV Live. Was one of my favourite.
Oh my god, I haven't heard that.
Oh my god, you're going to be so great for the nostalgia episode.
Oh my god, yes, SMTV Live. We will have that episode one day. Something just for the English fans.
I have bad memories of SMTV.
Why?
Purely because my parents made me go to Arabic class on Saturday mornings.
Oh, you lost
So
that.
I kept missing it.
That's alright, I've got a VHS tape with your name on it, so you'll be fine.
But do you have a VHS player with my name on it though?
I'm afraid not.
One time I was watching SMTV Live, and I would get up early on a Saturday, watch it. It's my favourite time of the week. I called in.
No way.
Called into one of the competition things, and my dad was doing nights at the time, so he was asleep, like sleeping all day. He had to tip the phone in his room. He's picked up the phone on the other side, and I just heard him like, "Get off the phone!" Because he like knew that I was like calling up the really expensive lines.
Yeah.
And then like...
So they always made sure to say, ask your mum and dad for permission.
Yeah,
or whatever.
no, yeah.
But
None of them asked their mum and dad permission.
did you actually get through as well?
No.
Say,
God,
like,
I wish.
If Kat Dealey, her face hearing that on the phone. She was my first crush for a while, actually.
Imagine that if I'd been on there and then my dad... Get off the phone.
It's a donkey who's wonky. It's the wonky donkey. You've got to say the name and the phrase and just get off the...
I do feel like you guys are educating me right now.
Oh my god. Look, guys, in America, there was this brilliant Saturday morning show called SMTV Live. It featured these two great guys.
What did the SM stand for?
Saturday morning.
Yes.
And then straight after, it was basically where we'd first watch Pokemon, where we would watch, we'd get all these stars like Caprice that you don't hear from anymore. And then there was also
They
like
had the Friends thing.
Chums.
But it was Chums.
Chums was a mate. Did you know about Chums?
No.
So Chums was a Friends spoof, but done really well.
Who was it hosted by?
Ant and Dec.
And Cat Dealey.
And Cat Dealey.
Wasn't there a period of time where they had loads of weird people coming on as presenters?
You mean like...
No. It was only though. Well, maybe when it was dry.
like-
Was it like when it was drying out? They were like, "Oh, let's get someone else on."
No, that was Ministry of...
Mayhem.
Oh, God.
Wake up, it's the Ministry of Mayhem.
What's that guy's name? The white guy that used to be on Fingertips or whatever it was called.
Stephen Mulhern.
Stephen Mulhern.
I saw him at McDonald's the other day.
Did you?
Not the other day, about
Stephen
literally
Mulhern.
15 years ago.
The other day.
Stephen Mulhern is... I don't know why. He's one of the most annoying people at my Saturday mornings. Because, one, he replaced Ant and Dec. So that's already annoying.
Yeah.
Two, he was one of those sort of like... how do you explain it? He's not a Matt Baker. You know, he's
an archaitypal
Wait a
children's
minute,
TV show
you preferred
host.
Matt Baker to Stephen Mulhern.
Yes.
Stephen Mulhern does magic.
That's maybe his problem summed up.
His 1 point, yes.
But he does magic.
Do we like people that do magic?
I do magic all the time.
What kind of magic?
I'm just very impressive. That's what magic.
Well, you brought us together, so that's already a trick done.
This is magic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like physically together. We never record physically together.
Okay, I just have to say one thing. If we're going to talk about SMTV Live, I have to mention...
We're not going to talk about SMTV Live though. We have to move
but
on.
I've got to make sure there's...
No,
if you look up
please.
SMTV Live, you've got to look up Dick and Dumb in the Bungalow if you ever get a chance. They invented the game Bogies, I think.
Oh, I love that game.
Fun to play at school.
Did you ever
fun
watch
for
Dick and
kids.
Dumb in the Bungalow?
Not really, but I watched clips and the bogies bit was enough. I probably still do play it
Yeah, I
sometimes.
play it.
I just you don't use the word bogies, I use other words.
Their comedy was very ahead of its time. They would have a point where they would be talking to someone random, and then for no reason, the music track, just a snippet from "Whoa, ho, ho, it's magic" would come on. I would stop the interview and just dance to it, and then go back to what they were doing. And the guy who they're interviewing doesn't know what the hell to make of that. And as a kid, as an adult, that's fucking hilarious.
They rubbed me up the wrong way. I didn't like
Rub
them
you up the
that
wrong
much.
way. Well, perfect for this topic.
No, I didn't like them. They were trying to be like the children's version of like Reeves and Mortimer.
That's quite a comparison.
Yeah, but not as good. What about Let's Talk Dig It?
Let's not. Let's maybe bring it back to the point because I think what you guys are going to do is what we're going to slate other people for doing.
No.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Save me from myself.
Yeah, I save you from yourself. It's weird how you need a woman to do that.
Yeah, well, that's the theme, isn't it, for the next 5 years?
So as I was saying, we let Alex have some input and he went wild. So we are going to start today's episode off with a game of 6 degrees of separation.
Okay.
Awesome.
So what? So Talman's going to give us the two actors or actresses, and then maybe at the end of the show we'll come back.
First one is going to be very topical, but I think it's going to be quite simple. So if you figure this one out quickly, we'll move on. I'll give you another one, and then we can chat while you guys are trying to figure it out.
Sure. Okay.
So the first one I have is Casey Affleck and Brie Larson.
Okay. Oh shit.
Brie Larson, did she win something recently?
Yeah, the Oscar for Room.
Oh, she's the one that that gave
That
Casey
snubbed him.
Affleck the Oscar, but didn't clap or anything.
Didn't clap, didn't touch
I mean,
him, wouldn't take
That's
photos with
sick.
him.
Okay,
Good on her.
so the rules are we
Very
can't just say
passive-aggressive.
the Oscars. We have to
Well,
say...
no, they have
No,
to.
it has to be a film.
Yeah,
no, so
okay.
they're connected to each other through actors
film.
or people by
But there was
films.
no one else in room.
Well, no, there's Jacob Tremblay.
I'm going to lose.
Okay, anyway, right. Let's
Okay.
talk about something else. And I'm just
Yeah,
gonna...
so speaking of Casey
gymnastics.
Affleck and Brie Larson, I should tell you now, with the 6 degrees of separation game, narrations and voiceovers don't count.
What about animations?
Well, voiceover, animation, narration, right, no, doesn't count.
So it's all acted.
Wait. So do you not think someone could ever win an Oscar for a voice performance?
Of course they can, but it's not part of this game.
Ooh.
Changing the
Who
rules.
made up that rule?
I did.
So would you
Hey,
say that...
you're the one that wanted to play this game.
So would you not say you wouldn't be able to use Tom Hanks' Toy Story?
No.
Oh, no, that takes out half my shit. Oh, okay.
Okay. It's good to know.
Okay, so you guys are going to be telling me a little bit about Casey Affleck. You guys are big fans, right?
I had to look up a whole load of shit about Casey Affleck.
Did you not know about everything?
I knew he did something, but like a lot of these guys, I have to look up exactly what they did. I mean, you got Louis C.K. who did the whole flashing his penis off at someone.
Can I say one thing? I think the thing with Casey Affleck is you have to look up what he did. With some people, it's like... Louis C.K. walked in, like, flashed someone. Harvey Weinstein turned up to people's hotel rooms in, like...
A bathrobe and
and
rubbed his dick against them.
Yeah, exactly. But with Casey Affleck, I feel there's a bit of a
cover-up?
Not necessarily a cover-up. There's definitely people trying to, like, hush it down a bit.
Well, yeah, because they paid off the women. So the story is, back in 2010, so not really that long ago, it's not like he can say, I'm an old dinosaur, trying to change his ways.
Yeah,
No.
what was his first film? It was
Probably alongside Ben Affleck.
No, it wasn't even that long ago, actually. I remember he got his acting chops in... Was it Jesse James?
No,
he's been acting for years.
Good Will Hunting.
That wasn't just Ben.
No, he was his...
And
he was
he's
Ben
been in-
Affleck's friend in Good Will Hunting, the one with the curly hair.
Wasn't there one with Nicole Kidman where she was a teacher?
Yeah,
and he
To
was-
Die For.
To Die
He was
For.
in that.
Of course,
To Die
yeah.
For. Directed by...
Noel Fielding.
I think it was Gus Van Sant. Oh, with the 6 degrees of separation, can we do directors?
No? Maybe next time, but I've only just gone back.
Sure.
'cause- Okay.
You've
Yeah,
got
yeah.
from Casey Affleck to Brie Larson.
Yeah, I mean,
just don't know.
it was a 20-minute train journey, Alex. I need to do something.
I just don't know Brie Larson too well. I only know
Don't know
Room.
catalogue too much,
I know, what's the 12... Have you seen that film?
Short-term 12.
Short Term 12, I really like that. That's got the actor from Get Out, the one that's like, get out! But I don't know his name.
I thought this one would be really easy. I mean, while you guys think on it, is there anything else we want to talk about?
Sorry.
Casey Affleck.
Yeah, okay.
What a guy.
I really like Casey Affleck as an actor.
Mm-hmm.
Good Will Hunting's a really good film. One of my favourites. He's really good in it. The Assassination of Jesse James by the Coward, Robert Ford. Again, really good. Manchester by Sea.
Oh, yes, okay.
And he's got a lot of work to do in that film. I think he's really good in it.
Probably one of my favourite of his, anyway. One of the best of the year.
Yeah.
By far.
I'm not going to lie. I haven't watched Manchester by the Sea purely because I knew about what he was up to before.
So that affected your...
it affects my viewing of it.
Yeah.
And I think
That's fine.
I think it affects everything. So how good they are as an actor affects how badly treated they get for a crime where everyone should be treated the same because it's an objective thing. And okay, he did something bad, but he's a better actor than this guy, so let's let him go. Shows how powerful the Hollywood machine is.
It also affects my viewing of directors as well. Like Woody Allen, I'm not going to say I kissed his ass as much as the rest of the fucking world, because he does a film every year. That's why he's prolific. It doesn't mean that film every year is good. There are more turkeys in the last 20 or so years than there have been good films.
Midnight in Paris was great.
I actually really like Midnight in Paris. I liked Blue Jasmine, but in about 2014 when his daughter came out and said all that stuff.
I mean,
and I had not realised that it had even gone to trial and everything. Social services had looked into it.
It's still possible to like an artist's stuff even though they're being in questionable shit. I mean, we've all watched Jeepers Creepers, but the guy behind it is the real monster. Have you heard about that?
I can't watch that anymore because
No?
ever since I heard about that.
Yeah, did you hear about that?
No, I've never heard of that.
He's a confessed
child
paedophile. I'm not saying he bragged about it, but he filmed himself.
Yeah, he got convicted.
Could that add
I love how he's laughing.
add to the horror of a film?
Right? That's what I was thinking.
Well, it added to the horror of me hearing that in Jeepers Creepers 3, he was looking for children to star in the film.
No,
Really?
that's too much, obviously.
That
That's
scared
too
their
much,
life
obviously.
out
But
of me.
like,
That sounds like a guy who just doesn't think he can be touched. He can get away with anything.
so,
Well, to be fair, he got his big break after he was convicted paedophile.
Oh, that as well,
so he
yeah.
hasn't filled...
so what? He went to jail
He went to jail and everything.
and he came out, and then he became an actor.
Director,
sorry.
yeah.
Yeah.
What the hell?
I know. You look at his picture online.
That's crazy.
He has no shame. I can't remember
I'm
his
so
name.
glad
wanna
I
say
came
it.
here today just to find
Victor
that out.
Salva or something like that. I believe his name is something like Victor Salva.
I think usually these things don't affect the product that they make. I still love stuff like Midnight in Paris, etc. But Jeepers Creepers, I don't know. It's somehow, because it's a horror film and it's about this creature that
It's
preys
about
on teens.
devour.
You know, it just feels like no wonder he was able to capture that creepiness so well about, you know, the voyeur or the guy who's stalking, because he is a bit of a predator himself.
One could say, you know, the interesting thing about films is seeing how the world can be thought of from someone else's point of view, seeing into someone else's point of view and how someone else thinks. It's like, I've never thought about the world like that. So someone who's mentally deranged almost lends themselves to showing you a novel viewing of life. That's very charitable, and I've only just thought about that. So, you know, it's probably best that was, you know, that's just been recorded and held down forever. But
No, that rings true. I mean, I never thought of it that way, but it is a case of you're looking through a person's vision of the world. Like you look at Kubrick film, and everything's very perfect or very centered, or, you know, it's a very set way of looking at something. You look at Guy Ritchie, and that's a Guy Ritchie film. You know, it's just a very set, you know
Oh
what
my
you're looking
god,
at.
Guy Ritchie. His first first couple of films were decent. I kind of want him to be a sexual harasser or a prick just so I can hate him a little bit more.
Yeah,
because like he's gone so downhill.
You know,
like King Arthur was laughable.
You know what?
He's doing Aladdin for crying out loud.
Sherlock Holmes.
That was good.
The first one I was okay with.
I didn't mind the second one.
I thought they were good. They were his good films. What was that? What was the? So obviously,
Something of Shadows.
Lock, Stock, and Snatch were like good.
Yeah.
Snatch was great.
Have you guys managed to think about your 6 degrees of separation?
No, come on, give us a bit. Give me a film that Brie Larson's been in.
Okay, she was in.
I've come up with 3 different ones.
There was a really good film she was in.
What?
Recently.
She's in Room, and she's in that short term 12.
Do you just want me to give you?
No, just give me one more film that she's in.
Yeah.
And that long.
Free Fire.
Oh.
Is that actually helping you much?
You're already ahead of me.
I wish I'd seen Free Fire, but I haven't. I know all about it.
It's such a good movie, you guys. You need to watch it. It's so good. Ben Wheatley, Cillian Murphy, everyone's...
Cillian Murphy, okay.
Yeah, Armie Hammer's in it. Oh shit, I'm just giving you it. So
Right,
basically, I've got 3 different ways, and I kind of want to tell you.
No, talk about another perv for a bit, and I'll be there.
Yeah, but like my other 6 degrees of
Sexuration.
my other 6
times. Oh god.
My others will give us the topic. So let me just reveal it.
Your other what? Oh.
So. Like I said, I've got 3. One
Do you
of
reckon
them.
Harvey Weinstein went out to the door and was like, I'm going to sexurate you, whether you like it or not?
Probably. Like he'd actually tell people. Like, those people are all about the power play.
Has it been long enough that we can joke about it?
You know, isn't it
Can we say too soon?
Something kind of funny about Harvey, you know, a little fat man running about town, you know.
So I'm going to reveal it. Casey Affleck starred in Interstellar with Jessica Chastain. Jessica Chastain starred in Crimson Peak with Tom Hiddleston.
Okay.
Tom Hiddleston starred with Brie Larson in Kong Skull Island.
Okay.
The second one I got was
Oh, bloody hell. What is this? Countdown?
Casey Affleck starred with Michelle Williams in Manchester by the Sea.
Yep.
Michelle Williams starred with Leo DiCaprio in Shutter Island.
Yeah.
Leo DiCaprio starred with Cillian Murphy in Inception.
Okay.
And Cillian Murphy also starred
It's all very easy
with
when
Brie Larson.
It's all very easy when you've got the answers, isn't it?
I did this myself on the train.
I bet you did.
I came up with another
No one was there, so it was true.
I came up with another one, but it's a bit of a cheat because one of the movies isn't out yet. So Casey Affleck starred with Don Cheadle in the Ocean's movies.
Yeah.
Don Cheadle will be in the untitled Avengers 4 movie with Brie Larson.
Oh, wow, okay, all right.
Whoa. You know, it
I
has to
did
be
that in
released.
like
It
2
has to be
steps.
released. Has
I
to be
like
released.
that.
Yeah, that's why I said that's a cheat.
That's not...
Right, okay, give me 2 more and I'll get it.
Yeah.
Kevin Spacey and Rose McGowan.
Oh!
I don't know how we could talk about, you know, like this whole picture.
I can do it straight away. But I will wait.
You'll wait.
Yeah.
Which one's Rose McGowan again?
I'm not saying. I need to win something.
Rose.
But if
You can
if
use
want
television, by the way.
To, Rose McGowan is
one's Rose McGowan?
Charmed.
Oh, I didn't even have
Remember
Charmed in my one.
Charmed.
I didn't even look at
I
Charmed.
was busy on a
Alyssa
Sunday.
Milano.
I watched Stargate, but then I turned it off.
The one with the Egyptian thing. Yeah, just that movie.
Sorry, which one's who's Rose McGowan?
So Rose McGowan is the Me Too activist.
What other films has she been in?
She has been in
So I should know.
Wait,
Planet
so you're
Terror?
cheating?
Planet Terror.
Grindhouse?
That is Planet Terror.
Can we
Okay.
count a Death Proof as well or not?
No.
Okay.
She wasn't in Death Proof, was she?
No, but but that was part of the Grindhouse film.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And that was in some places showed as one film, Grindhouse.
Do you guys want to think about it?
Give me another one. I don't want Rose McGowan.
I've got like a missing link, but I can.
I have others, but we'll sit on this one for a while.
No.
Okay,
Jesus.
okay.
Yeah,
All right.
I've
Anyway.
got mine though. I've got mine.
Can we talk more about Casey Affleck?
I love to talk more about.
You don't
Casey
want to talk
Affleck.
about Kevin Spacey? I just gave you
Oh,
another
sorry,
one.
yeah, Kevin
Kevin
Spacey.
I mean, okay, if there's anything else you want to say about Casey Affleck, you should.
I just read a really interesting thing earlier about the whole Casey Affleck thing and why he hasn't been taken through the flipping shredder for it. And it was in comparison with, and I did only read this earlier, so I should know. Did anyone watch the new, Birth of a Nation?
Yeah. Oh, the new one.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. Actually.
So, the main actor in that, don't know his name, fact checker, before he made any films or got famous, there was a trial about him and his college roommate who actually wrote the film.
Yeah, Nate Parker.
Yeah. And they allegedly raped a girl at university and it went to trial and it got acquitted. It turned out that he had sex with her mutually beforehand, and they both admitted that, but then she said that he raped her another time. It all got acquitted. They made Birth of a Nation. He now can't make any films, basically. You could say he's been blacklisted. And it was in comparison between him and Casey Affleck. Like, why has he been treated so differently to Casey Affleck?
Well, I remember there was that story about, was it a producer woman that went to the bed? She was given
Yeah, so I think it was
bed.
the one that he did, the movie he did with Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah,
I'm still here.
Yeah, so he was directing it. So he was drunk and got into bed with her and raped her and everything.
Yeah. Oh, so he did.
And then he ended up
No, he didn't 100% do that. Like,
well,
it's
allegedly.
not proven.
Allegedly.
Right, she woke up and he was there in his pants, but anything happened? Let's face it, something probably happened.
No, he groped her, and then she got out of bed. She was asleep, and then she felt obviously really freaked out by it and was like, what the hell are you doing? Get out of my room. He got angry, left the room. She quit the film, and then...
And he withheld payment, apparently.
She wanted back into the film, actually, and then she joined the film again. Once she joined the film again after that, he was being really, like, uncomfortable with her, throwing around, like, sexual innuendos.
I think the whole set was like that,
He grabbed her by the arm at one point, apparently.
Quite forcefully.
And then
when she refused?
And another woman said very similar things, like, just as horrible, and said very similar things.
I think that's the woman that, once the film was over, she
withheld
accused him of withholding...
No, I think she withheld certain copies of the film roll.
No, I mean payment. In payment, like he withheld some sort of...
Yeah, I know, so she withheld, some footage.
And that was his basic argument back, was like, oh, she's like extortionate, she's like trying to be like, she's trying to get more money off me, basically. That was his argument. Basically, to take it back to the guy from Birth of a Nation, one of the reasons that this article I read said that they were treated differently is the guy from Birth of a Nation, that went to court, he got proven innocent, or he didn't get proven guilty. And the one with Casey Affleck got acquitted.
No,
or like,
they didn't. He paid them off.
He paid them off. So it was settled out of court, though, right? Okay. And the weird thing about the Casey Affleck one is all the other interviews I've read with him were saying, I didn't do any of that. I didn't do any of it. And then this interview that I saw the other day, fair enough to this interviewer lady, because the beginning of the interview, she was asking really nice questions. Well, what film's she going to be in? What film's she going to be? She was about to drop the bomb. Obviously, he knew she was going to drop the bomb because they wouldn't have been able to get into an interview room.
Way too nice.
Yeah.
You know?
But she dropped the bomb, super hard questions. And he came out with this really solemn, not an apology, just completely going around the houses with an apology, never saying, I did something wrong.
Yeah.
I have something in my mind where I feel I've got like a sexual perversion in my mind, and I really wanted to have sex with her, and I just did this thing. He never said anything like that. It was all about it was a really unprofessional set, and
that's a Hollywood thing, sidestepping the question with general statements. And something about the Affleck boys is that you can see in every interview literally where their face drops. So at that point, he starts coming out with these phrases like, there were mistakes made.
Yeah. He would say, like...
a lot of things I could have stopped.
He was like, I'm sorry that it went to court. It's always like, and I saw some behaviour that I didn't like and I didn't stop it. That's what they always do. They always put themselves one step away from the actual horrible action that actually happened.
You're a moral arbiter that didn't stop the drama.
Yeah, and you know what? I should have stopped it. They're just waiting for someone to say, hey, man, it's not you. It's like... No, just say it. Would have been such a refreshing interview. You'd be like, man, I've got some serious issues, and I went to I've been going to therapy or something like that. That wouldn't be enough either, but
here's the thing: it would have cut that interview by about 2 minutes. You know, they're sidestepping, but she's pressing.
Yeah,
and I like her, man. She was cool.
What, that interviewer?
Yeah,
she was cool.
She started off very solemnly, very slipping it in. I knew it was going to happen because it's an Affleck interview, you know, and then it does happen, and you slowly see his smile turn from, oh shit, so that's all the questions about my film.
No, I don't think it's that. I think he knew what the questions were going to be.
You think
so? Oh no, he did. All of that stuff is always rehearsed.
Yeah.
There's no way they'll just sit down and allow... He could easily walk out. They have pre-interviews as well.
Yeah.
People go through the questions. It's
Question screening, Because if he didn't know that those questions were going to happen, someone would have come in, not Casey Affleck, and been like, you know, like he's not doing this interview.
Yeah.
I mean, not all interviews are pre-rehearsed. I mean, you remember that one with Khan and Tarantino, and Downey Jr.
Yeah, because he's an actual reporter.
Okay,
These are entertainment reporters. They're not the same breed. They do soundbite questions and they do rehearsed questions.
But there are such things as like snippets or sniping.
Yeah, soundbites.
Asking a question that they don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing you got. Yeah. That's what you want to do.
This isn't and then they focus the camera. This is what I was.
Yeah. But they would easily walk out. The amount of times you've probably heard of people completely getting up, walking out, and the footage never gets seen because Frosty, the editor of Collider, the website, which is an amazing website, he's a great interviewer. When he was doing the Avengers Avengers Infinity War promos, he tweeted about one actor in that movie in particular that was just abusing him the whole interview so badly that Disney took the footage so it wouldn't be released. Exactly. So I went through every fucking interview he did. So I've narrowed it down to Sebastian Stan and Funaki and the guy that plays M'Baku.
You've done your work.
Because the trio, because they were interviewed together, I believe, through the whole junkets.
What film was this?
Infinity War.
Okay.
They were interviewed together throughout the whole junket.
Yeah.
They were interviewed together through the junket, but theirs is the only one missing from the Collider page.
About to say, we need to narrow it down to this sexual harassment, guys. Well, which film is it? Infinity War. Fuck. Really? There's a whole ice cream shop of flavours to choose from.
That's got nothing to do with sexual harassment. It is a form of abuse if what he's saying is correct, which I suspect is true if they actually confiscated all the footage and made sure it wouldn't air. But are we done with Casey Affleck?
We'll never be done with Casey Affleck, but I think we've had our fill for now.
I wanted to also just add this article I read earlier. Boiled it down to like basically the reasons that Casey Affleck's been treated better is because one, it never actually fully went to court. B, he's making really great films. C, he's an Affleck brother, and that's got something to do with it. And like D, it did mention that like the guy from Birth of a Nation's black, and he's not black, so like.
Oh yeah, because you get the white privilege.
Yeah.
So, could you guys personally watch a Casey Affleck movie the same way as you did before you heard about all of it?
Truthfully, yeah.
Truthfully, I could, man.
I mean, I think it's very important to separate the work from the artist that you're watching. I love Woody Allen, regardless of his personal life.
I would find it hard to justify why I could watch a Casey Affleck film, but if I'm being honest, I watched like Good Will Hunting the other day, and I really enjoyed it, and like his performance is really good.
It helps that I never remember him in these films, so
he is a forgettable
I just glaze over him. But the thing is, it's not fair for him to ruin a film for me. So where he's the lead role, okay, yeah, I'll watch Manchester by the Sea. There's going to be a point in time where I enjoyed that more than I will anymore. But it's still a great film, and I believe it. You got to recognise the merits of other people's work.
But it's like, do you want to know the background history of all the people that make your food in a restaurant and stuff like that?
Well, yeah, because if like they've got some infectious diseases.
If they've got infectious diseases, yeah, but what if they like, I don't know.
I mean, if they were constantly masturbating and wanking over things, I kind of don't want them near my food either.
You know,
what if they've got good? If you know they've got good hygiene, you're 100% sure they've got good hygiene.
They've had a really bad track record of STD.
Do you think? Okay, I'd still want to know their background purely because if they are like a rapist, paedophile, whatever, do I really want to hand my money over to people like that?
I know, yeah, obviously.
I mean, there's not too many ways a rapist could destroy a sandwich for you. I'm just saying it's
the fact that they're profiting from it. I mean,
are they?
Well, me buying the sandwich pays their wages.
Keep saying, are they?
They're getting paid either way, hourly wage.
Okay, so speaking of his excuse how unprofessional environments that film set was, another unprofessional environment I've heard of, film-wise, is The Usual Suspects.
Oh, really?
Oh, cool.
Oh, cool. You're glad to hear that.
One of my good films, man. Yeah, come on, ruin it for me.
Because you do realise that...
I'm ready.
You do realise production got shut down for 2 days because Kevin Spacey was diddling a kid or something like that.
I don't even... I haven't watched that film in years, but I don't remember one woman or child being in that film.
Or diddling someone. I don't know if it was a kid, but diddling someone.
Is that why he had the limp or something?
Was it?
Cut that out.
He was doing the diddling.
Yeah. But okay.
Okay, I don't know if he actually diddled.
Who was he diddling? Stephen Baldwin.
I don't know. I don't think it was an extra, but I don't think he actually did diddling. That's just me just saying words.
So it was a child, was it?
I don't know if it was a child. It was a young man, a young boy. That's his type, isn't it? Young boys.
Was it Benicio del Toro? Or what's his name?
Stephen Baldwin.
Stephen Baldwin. I don't know. Anyone could doodle Stephen Baldwin. He was.
No, but the thing is, people like Kevin Spacey, they would not go for someone like that purely because they have power too. It's a power play. He'd go after the little people.
Going back over like super old films, I could have told you horrible stuff happened on the sets of all these films before all this stuff happened, I would have assumed so anyway.
Yeah, but apparently it's still happening today with House of Cards. Well, not today because he got sacked.
Yeah.
But
Well, that's the whole thing of this whole. Sorry to take it back to Casey Affleck quickly. He was like, "Oh, it was a really, really unprofessional set, and I'm sorry." It's like they're all sets are probably really unprofessional, and like they all do horrible shit all the time. And it's like when your mum runs into your bedroom and you're like smashing your brother, you're fighting her, and you're like shouting, and you're both like going crazy, and you're like throwing stuff at him. Your mum comes in, you both stop and go, "Sorry." And then as soon as she closes the door again, you're like back at it, just a bit quieter. Doesn't stop you.
Are they actually sorry?
Doesn't stop you from wanting to do the thing that you wanted to do in the first place.
so you guys can still carry on watching Kevin Spacey.
Okay, what I will say is, I love The Usual Suspects. Channel 4 ruined that film for me anyway, but I'll get into that in a later episode. But again, it's important to separate the work from the arts, because Kevin Spacey, he is an incredible actor. I do think that.
Oh, you know that film that Spacey was actually really good in, where he had sex with a naked teenager or something?
Blue Velvet.
Blue Velvet.
Blue Waffles.
Oh. So American Beauty.
But he gets with the young girl.
Yeah, so like it's like a new light of stuff that you can't. I don't know, man. Like, but then again, I've got a fucked up mind because once I heard about these allegations, I started watching House of Cards because he was in the news, and I
stopped watching House of Cards.
How interesting.
Yeah.
You started watching it.
It's weird. Someone like that comes to light, and it's around that sort of. Was it on the set of House of Cards that he got most of his accusations from? Or?
Anthony Rapp, who got molested by him when he was 14 years old.
Wasn't that in the
and
British?
He was the curator of the Old Vic Theatre.
That's it. That's
the Young Vic, sorry.
Yeah.
And then loads. I think it's about 30 accusations so far.
Oh, cool.
People have come forward so far, and I think they might actually be prosecuting, which is great. And
Where is Kevin Spacey right now? Is he in a house or is he in a?
I think, to be honest, he just had a movie released, Billionaire Boys Club.
Boys Club.
Exactly.
Right. So unironic.
But you guys didn't even hear about it. It's already tanked. Because I don't know if he did promo, but it would be a bad idea for him to do promo.
He's a brave man if he did.
You know the director of that film, he saw that happening. He was about to release Billionaire Boys Club.
Yeah.
No, he's going to release Billionaire Men's Club and then he changed it to
Billionaire Men's Club. We got to change the name, dude. We've mentioned boys 5 times in the script.
I was just going to say, like, you know, I can see where you're coming at because it's different to, you know, I brought up the whole thing about would you eat food that someone had cooked and you didn't know anything about them? Would you buy, like, a table off, you know, and then you found out the person who made the table, like, did stuff with, like, young kids? It's different, but when you see their faces and they're talking, it's like they're real-life people, and that probably adds to it a bit more, wouldn't you say?
It helps not to know about people's backstories. No one's perfect.
And the celebrity thing is also, you know, celebrity now, we need to know something about actors. We don't need to know something about the people that make the chairs and the tables in the world, but for some reason we need to know about actors, who they're married to and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They're
To be honest, I try and stay away from gossip, which is probably why I'm so appalled by all of this shit, because it's managed to hit my, you know, hemisphere. And I actually know about a lot of it, which is really, 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 really annoying.
Yeah, you do know quite a lot about it, don't you?
Yeah, it's like I read up on it, like knowing that I'm going to come here and talk to you guys about it.
But you can't blame yourself for that because you're so bombarded on Twitter, Facebook. I mean, there's probably a Wikipedia for Kendall Jenner's
social
arse.
media though, because of that type of shit.
You got Twitter though, that's enough.
I've got Twitter.
You have the internet, that's enough.
That's true, but I don't really go on the internet.
You go outside, that's probably enough.
Yeah, I even heard about that Big Brother thing, and I haven't watched Big Brother in well over a decade.
I'm back in my comfort zone. Let's discuss.
Big Brother.
They came up with actually a really interesting.
What, Big Brother?
What was it? It was a
That
false allegation.
was very interesting.
Yeah, it's a false allegation, which is silly because there's cameras everywhere.
Yeah.
So can you one of you explain how this
So
happened?
basically, they were play fighting, and then she went to the diary room, started crying, saying he really hurt her and he was hitting her ribs, and she thinks she's got bruised ribs or some shit.
Can you bring me to the diary room?
Yeah, and then she started telling all the other housemates, and then they were appalled because it was a form of domestic violence, but he didn't even touch her.
And he reacted as a man would react if false allegations were made about you. He was like, oh my God! And like, even his friends were like, yeah, it's cool, man. Let's just not, you know, play fight with the girls anymore. Let's just not play fight with them. They were being really like soft details. But he was like, no, I'm not having any of this. I'm gonna I did not do anything wrong.
Yeah.
And the only reason is like life isn't destroyed is because there was hundreds of cameras in the house.
So did she get her comeuppance, or like did?
Yeah,
people...
her career's over, man.
Who is she?
There's no.
I don't think
she's
it
like
is.
a soap actress.
Her career's over.
Oh, is she a made in Chelsea person?
She was on. She used to be on This Morning, and no, she was on like Emmerdale or something like that. But she used to be on This Morning all the time, having arguments with people.
Oh, great.
She's like one of those train wrecks that like just keeps crashing, and like people like to watch it, and she'll go on the TV and say weird shit. Like, what's it? Flipping.
Katie Hopkins.
By the way,
No.
she's broke.
Yeah, I heard that.
Oh yeah, I heard. I was actually really
So
happy about
happy
that.
now, and I hope it was Jack. What's her face?
Oh yeah, it's because of that food writer that sued her.
So happy about that.
Yeah, fair mind.
I never usually take pleasure in someone's downfall.
Are you kidding me? Like,
she's one of those people.
If these people are still listening after we've been off the air for like a year, they know how much you fucking hate her.
Katie Hopkins.
Hey, Katie Hopkins. Good old Katie.
But what if you frame Katie Hopkins from the other point of view, where it was like she went into the This Morning offices the other day, and they were like, right, this is going to be hard to say, but we want you to come onto the show and we want you to argue that being fat is their fault, or whatever the stupid shit that she argues. That names like whatever Ryan or whatever mean you're a dumb idiot, and then she's in there like, but I don't. Oh my. You want me
I don't think these things. I'm getting so much money.
Do you want me to? You want me to go out there and? I reckon. Yeah. No. Do you know what? I reckon I've got that. I'm going to go out there and do it.
I'm going to be that person. Yeah.
I'm going to do that.
Now, keep doing that for 5 years. At the end, we're going to take all that money back.
But don't worry, we will give you your own ITV2 show a few years later. Called
Okay, so-
Building Back Up Katie.
So guys, most of our listenership is from the US.
Is it?
Yeah.
So
Howdy, partner.
I don't think they care about Roxanne Pele, Ryan, whatever her name is.
Yee, and of
Katie
course, Ha.
Yeehaw. So
Are they really? From the US?
yeah, most of them.
Well, they know who Kevin Spacey is.
Yeah, they know who Kevin Spacey is, which is why I'm trying to bring it back to Kevin
But
Spacey.
they don't know who Katie Hopkins is. And they don't know about SMTV or... Oh, stop doing that.
Is she a paedophile? I don't think so.
Nah.
She's just a...
Let's talk about female paedophiles for a minute.
Wait, we haven't finished with the... No, we'll get to that. We haven't finished with the Kevin Spacey 6 degrees of separation.
Such men.
I don't know who Rose McGowan is.
Good! I'm in the lead.
Okay, go ahead.
So, my thing is Kevin Spacey. I'm going from Kevin Spacey to Rose McGowan, aren't I?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I've been thinking of the wrong person.
Who's Rose McGowan?
Okay. Rose McGowan was in a Grindhouse film called Planet Terror.
Yeah.
Planet Terror. Can I do directors?
No, it's actors.
Oh, fuck me. Okay, let's come back to that.
Who was the guy that was
Okay,
in...
so do you guys want to know?
Oh, look, Tarmin knows. She did it all on the train.
You have no idea how many of these I did. Like,
Give me one
You
that
gave
I
me a
did.
job, and I did it.
Give me one that I know.
So Kevin Spacey and Rose McGowan. So
Yeah.
Kevin Spacey starred alongside Jennifer Aniston in Horrible Bosses.
Oh.
Jennifer Aniston starred alongside
Oh
Courtney
my
Cox in both Friends
Oh, you could have stopped
and
there.
Cougar Town.
Because Kevin Spacey's in Horrible Bosses.
It's Rose McGowan in Horrible Bosses.
No.
No.
he
Oh,
said
no.
Kevin
What are you
Spacey
talking
probably
about?
was a bit of a horrible boss.
Okay, so
bit.
to recap, Kevin Spacey starred with Jennifer Aniston in Horrible Bosses.
Yeah.
Jennifer Aniston starred in Cougar Town
Jennifer
and Friends. Aniston starred in both Cougar Town and Friends with Courtney Cox or Courtney Cox Arquette. Courtney Cox, her main film role outside of Friends and all that stuff is
Screams?
what? Yeah. Who was in the first Scream movie?
David Arquette.
Who got killed in the garage door coming up?
Oh, what? Was that Rose McGowan?
That was Rose McGowan.
No way.
Yeah.
No,
That's
blonde hair.
so good.
That was
That was
her.
red hair.
No, she had blonde hair.
Pretty sure it was red
She
hair,
had
yeah.
blonde hair.
way.
That was Rose McGowan.
That was a sick film. I'll be right back.
Seriously, that guy's best role was Shaggy.
Matthew Lillard is his name.
He's brilliant, man. He's
Hackers. Let's talk hackers.
13 ghosts. Okay, 13 ghosts.
I loved 13 Ghosts when I was a kid.
It's my guilty pleasure.
Scary as hell.
I loved it as a kid though. Like we
You
went
know
to Blockbuster
Yeah.
when it existed.
Blockbuster. Yeah, I was about to say I had to download that trailer for 5 hours, but I watched it.
See,
Mate,
my
you
uncle, just before we got married, I think I was about 10 or something, because he knew he couldn't spoil us anymore because he was getting married and having his own kids. He was taking us out loads.
Jerry.
So he was taking us out loads of places, and it culminated with we go to Blockbuster. We get to pick any fucking movie we want.
No,
What did you do?
I was like 10 years
Rating?
old.
No,
Not
care
even 10.
about
I
rating?
think I was about 9, 10.
He threw
care.
the ratings out the window.
We were allowed
Where's the
anything we
uncle,
wanted.
please?
But So we picked 13 Ghosts, but my uncle lived with my grandparents. So we were in the... No, I loved it. We were in the living room, and then they kept walking in at really inopportune moments. My grandparents, elderly grandparents.
With the Angry Princess, is that the one?
Maybe that's why they died.
What's that? They all had names, didn't they?
I don't remember. I haven't watched it in so many years.
Mate, I got obsessed with that film.
So there was, what was it? What's the rental shop called?
Blockbuster.
I went to Video Box. That was my local rental shop.
I had Paragon Video.
That's my youngest memories going there, I swear. I was probably like 7 years old. I'll pick out all the VHSs and like look at the back of the horror films, and they'd have like 3 pictures on them, wouldn't they, from the film?
Yep.
And it would have like a blurb right, and I'd just look at the 3 pictures, and that would be enough for me to scare the living shit out of me. I watched this one. It was like Jack Frost, but it was like a horror film of Jack Frost. And one of the pictures was him like with these big like fangs, and another one was him like killing a woman in a shower. And I had a nightmare about it. 2 pictures on the back of a flipping VHS.
Sorry, I was thinking of the Michael Keaton.
No, that's Jack Frost.
That's equally scary.
That's scary enough. Better no. What was it? Better snow dad than no dad.
Oh. I think I've gone through 3 stages of pain just now.
Brain freeze.
So, guys, do you want another round of 6 degrees of separation?
Please make sure I know both of them. I only have one film.
The thing is, this is the hardest one I came up with.
Oh, please.
Okay, I'll get this.
Let's do it.
Come on.
Ben Affleck.
Oh, yeah.
And Asia Argento.
Oh, I know.
You do?
I know.
Scarlett
Johansson is a woman. I'll get there, mate.
So
Trust me.
Who are Ben Affleck and Asia Argento?
Asia Argento is
am
at
I saying her name right?
Yeah, she is at the centre of our next...
No, but who was she before that?
Well, I think
She
Ben
was an
Affleck's had
actress.
some trials.
She is also the daughter, if I'm not mistaken, of Dario Argento, who is a film director. A really good film director, as it goes. Asia Argento, I first heard of from a film called The Heart is Deceitful Above All Things.
Yes, okay. Yeah.
Did you ever see that?
No.
I'm going to be perfectly honest. Asia Argento, the first time I heard about her was because of the Weinstein affair.
Really, yeah. Okay, I'm going to get there.
She did Scarlet something. It was a Scarlet Dancer? Scarlet something.
Scarlet Pimpernel.
Pimpernel?
I don't know. Can anyone tell me what the kid from Big Daddy was called?
Oh,
he's
Adam Sandler.
No.
He's a
I
kid,
know
right?
his name. I know his name.
You know his name?
Cole Sprouse.
Okay, cool.
But I actually know because they're twins. I don't know if it's Cole or the other one.
No,
or
I think they're
Dylan.
both in it. They're
Or
both in
Dylan.
it.
I think the other one's called Dylan.
Is it because you watched Sweet Life?
Oh
Sweet
no,
Life
I
is
was too old for that. I think I was too old for that. I'm outside the age range, right?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Probably.
It's because I watched Big Daddy and Friends.
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
And also, I'm not going to lie, I watched Riverdale. That's actually really good. I thought it was just going to be.
good.
I thought it was just going to be a teen drama, and it's like there's death and murder and
Why
like
does,
rape.
why does
and
that
everything.
ring such a... Is that a Channel 4 thing? Is
No,
that E4?
it's Netflix.
It's a new thing that's just
a
come
new
out,
thing.
right?
No, it's not. It's on like it's
Rivendell.
Riverdale. It's about to start season
I'd
3.
watch that.
Elrond.
What's everyone doing with fucking Jasmine?
No, I've heard people like Riverdale, and it's really
Yeah,
good.
it's actually really, really good. So both Ben Affleck and Asia Argento are very complex people, I believe.
Yeah,
Okay,
so I've heard.
Is it me or does Ben Affleck, no matter what he does, he still seems to get work and people still watch his stuff?
It's the same
Well, he's that guy who's... I'm not sure if he's established an easy to work with attitude, but he's just... The
Really,
Affleck
because
thing just...
he's an addict,
Then you've got...
so he can't be easy to work with.
No, yeah, he's probably not that easy to work
He
with.
held back production on Spider-Man because of like some sort of accident he had while he was drunk. or
Spider-Man?
high.
He wasn't even
Not
in it.
Spider-Man, sorry, Batman.
That's what I say.
Batman.
He's affecting other
Batman
people's work.
versus Superman, right?
Yeah.
But
What did he do? What was he...
Basically, he hurt himself because he was drunk, I
And
think,
they-
and then
and-
they had to put down production.
And I've heard Casey Affleck say, his grandfather was, and his father was an alcoholic, and his brothers had trouble with alcoholism, saying it's in the genes and stuff like that. Definitely both hard to work with, but both Casey Affleck and Ben Affleck, more so Ben Affleck, have a star identity. Everyone knows who Ben Affleck is. He's in a film. He can play lots of different characters. He's like a Humphrey Bogart or something like that. He brings stuff with him to a film. Even his alcoholism adds to that.
His name is a story.
Can I just say, I don't actually rate Ben Affleck that highly as an actor. He's a decent director, and when he's directing himself, he's better than if he's just acting in a movie.
Yeah.
I don't
know.
actually think he's a very good actor.
Maybe I agree.
Actually, I've had this bias about him for a very long time. I mean, I've always thought of him as the Pearl Harbor guy. So whenever
Where's
he did...
Josh Hartnett in all of this?
That's the point.
Sorry, carry on.
I see Aggro. I see... what's that film where he was in a town?
You mean
a small
Argo?
town. Argo, sorry.
Aggro.
I was trying to think about what... I was like, have I watched Aggro before?
What's that small town where he's at like a...
Gone Girl?
There's Gone Girl? Actually, I'd like to Gone Girl.
Or
I really
Gone
liked
Baby
Gone
Gone.
Gone Baby Gone.
Something about
Gone
Mary?
Baby Gone, but Casey Affleck was acting this, not Ben.
I've always thought of him as
The
Kevin
Town.
Smith's
Do
friend.
you
The
mean
Town.
Oh, the town, yeah.
He always started off with Kevin Smith, and I always thought of him as Kevin Smith's
Well,
buddy.
Actually, yes, I forgot about Dogma and all that. I like him with
lest
Kevin
we
Smith.
forget that him and Matt Damon were the youngest people. They were younger than we are now when they won the Oscar for Best Screenplay.
Why would you
for
say that?
Good Will Hunting.
Because it happened.
Why would you say that?
Because it happened.
Yeah,
Let's not be one-sided.
What discussion did we have the moment we met up today exactly?
What's that?
How we don't discuss our age.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but
What,
they
were 13? So, yeah, that's true. I mean, I have tremendous respect for them, but I have more respect for Damon than I do, say, Affleck.
Yeah, because he seems to be more... They've gone through the same shit. He seems to be more stable, reliable.
He's done a lot of
yeah.
dodgy ones. He's done a lot of wonky donkeys.
I think, yeah.
There was that
He's
one film...
associated with a lot of... Oh, you're talking about film-wise.
What's that film here we played that, like, autistic hitman? Do you remember? It came out recently.
That was Ben
the
Affleck.
Accountant.
The Accountant.
That was
amazing.
That was funny. That was dumb. I liked
film was
that.
dumb. It was great, but it's purely because I felt that he didn't have to act much.
He was dumb.
He doesn't act much, though.
That was
Maybe that's
stupid.
why he's better when he's being directed by himself, because he could just be himself.
I didn't like Argo that much.
No?
On a scale of Ben Affleck directed movies, I think Argo's the bottom.
Yeah, what is that? Gone Girl is...
Gone Girl was the first one, but Casey Affleck was in it. He was the lead, not Ben Affleck.
No, that's Gone Baby Gone.
Oh, Gone Girl was David Fincher.
David Fincher.
Yeah, Ben Affleck didn't direct
Their
that.
names are too similar. Gone
Yeah.
Baby Gone Girl.
Baby.
Oh, Gone Girl.
Gone
I thought you meant David Fincher and Ben Affleck.
No. Gone Baby Gone Girl.
Is it something about Mary where Bruce Campbell's in it? Where they both go after the same girl? No, I'm thinking
Wait,
about Ben Stiller one.
Ben-
Sorry, I'm
Ben
going on a
Affleck-
completely different tangent. Okay.
Okay, so are we going to discuss Gropegate?
What's
Gropegate?
Gropegate?
As in, you guys watched the clip of him and Hillary Barton on MTV,
Oh, yes.
where he basically grabbed her boob. If he does
Did
that,
he grab her? I thought he just touched her bum
No,
when she
he's
was on
grabbed-
the...
Oh, did he do that as
Was she
well?
not on his lap at the time?
no.
Oh, I've got to watch a different one.
So if that's what he does in a public arena, what does he do behind closed doors? That's where my mind goes to.
Is he getting a kick out of doing it in a public arena?
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Some of
And
these
if you-
guys might actually like the fact
They're
that
they're so bored of molesting women in private. They want to try and
Yeah.
now do it on live TV.
Yeah.
What's that line from Sin City where he goes, if I can shoot you and have them all lie about it, I've got him by the balls, or something like that. He likes the fact that people are seeing him do something, but
Yeah.
they can't do anything. That's Hollywood. That's
Oh,
Hollywood, baby.
Probably.
And he also seems sober in that clip. So if he does that sober, what's he doing when he's drunk 99% of the time?
Not me.
None of us know anything of actually what's going on.
That's true.
That's something
It's allegations. I think there is a problem nowadays where... Now, it's
To
not...
be fair, with Ben Affleck, it's not really an allegation. We all saw it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But nowadays it does present another problem. People like that, it's good that they're being called out, but it does make this new trend of the burden of proof is on the accused rather than the accuser. So,
We went through so long, so many generations, decades, centuries,
yeah,
where whenever women spoke out, they were not believed.
that's true.
Hardly any women spoke out.
That's true.
And you can see that now with Brett Kavanaugh in the US,
Oh, yes.
where Dr. Ford coming out saying he tried to rape her. And could you see the vitriol and the death threat she's gone through?
Because people knew
And
her
her
address.
family are in hiding.
Yeah.
So do you really think people would sign up for stuff like that?
I think, wasn't she at a lecture and she thought someone was a student, but they were actually a reporter, come to pop a question at
no.
her. Yeah. So they came to her lecture and actually tried to, undermine her there.
Yeah.
But I do feel that there are victims on both sides when you
Are you
consider
using the internet?
I did not.
That's it. Wikipedia, here
You're
I
not
come.
allowed to use
I just wanted to double check that I was right, and I didn't write anything down after
You know
I
what?
just checked
Because
the
you've ruined it, I
internet.
might just give you the answer.
No. I just wanted to check that the one film I was 100% sure about.
So, listeners, you guys
I
can't see
didn't.
what happened.
Oh.
Me and Chris were talking.
So I haven't
Alex
touched.
pulled out his phone while he's writing.
I haven't touched my pen since I got on my phone, and I've got all the answers there.
Oh, wait, it's coming to me. Robin Williams.
No, shut up! Wait, let me just. Come on! Oh, I knew it
Okay.
anyway. I knew it
Okay,
anyway.
so Asia Argento, the other side of the 6 degrees. What do you want to say about her?
We were talking
We were
about this
talking
the
about
other
this,
day,
yeah.
and I hadn't heard about it.
Otherwise, it would just be another case of sexual harassment. But she's up there with Rose McGowan. as
What
one
did
of the
she
heads of-
say happened?
Well, the thing is, she said it wasn't sexual harassment because they knew each other. The kid was 18, I believe.
17.
17, okay.
Yeah. But
And
they'd known each other since he was
since
a
he
young...
was 12.
Yeah.
Since he was 12, yeah. So it's almost like she was grooming him. Her husband, the late... What's his face?
They're married.
Okay, so her boyfriend, yes, that's
yeah.
it, paid him off, which begs
Paid
the
who
real...
off?
This
boys,
kid,
yeah.
whatever his name is, which begs the real
Jimmy Bennett, I
problem.
believe
Jimmy
his name,
Bennett,
yeah.
which begs the real problem of this whole debacle. Should he give the money back? So, yeah, let's discuss that.
Can I just get a clean timeline here? So Asia Argento, who had relations with the 17-year-old boy?
So she did.
She and this
She
17-year-old
denied it.
boy.
She denied it happened. There are pictures of them in bed together. And there's also emails to Rose McGowan's partner, Rain something.
What's Rose McGowan got to do with any of it?
Well,
She's part of the Me Too movement. Her
she's the
and
head of the Me Too
Asia Argento, they spearheaded it.
They
Because
spearheaded it,
Asia... Was she raped or was she just harassed by Weinstein? Because Rose
I
McGowan
think
was
she
raped.
says she was raped.
They were both raped. They both came out. They were the early people that came out. So they're part of this movement.
Yeah.
They're the figureheads of it.
There's evidence from Rain's texts that she talked about how people would perceive it and that she tried to cover it up and she denied it until these texts and pictures came out. Now, the reason it's quite controversial was because Fox and Friends and other people like that are going to use this to undermine the Me Too movement. So obviously
so bad,
Rose
yeah.
has to turn against her old friend and say, I'm sorry, she's been saying all this time, if you like him, it doesn't matter, you have to say no. So now she has to do the same thing. And now, Asia Argento, I think, is threatening to lawsuit her with libel if she doesn't retract her statement about her. But the thing is, it happened.
Does Asia Argento still deny it, or does she say it's happened now?
It's hard to say. She's doing that Hollywood thing where they step around the question.
Yeah.
I mean, if you pay someone off to not talk about something,
It's
you know that
good,
thing.
yeah.
And whether he should keep the money or not, I don't think that's here or there. They gave him.
Oh,
money.
no, I was joking.
Oh, okay.
I was just joking. The real crux of this. Can you give it back? I need
well,
it.
I don't think it should undermine the movement purely because say
I don't think it will.
if you punched me and then I punched Alex, does it make it any less true that you punched me? No, exactly.
Oh,
Because I'm a very violent person. You cannot tell. I go fisticuffs all the time.
I would be upset if one woman, like, I don't know, did she have sex with this
yeah,
guy?
pretty much.
Having sex with a 17-year-old undermined the whole of the culture of men thinking that they can do whatever they want because this is a man's world sort of thing. That would be a shame. Because I think it doesn't, if there were scales and like everything all that these guys had apparently done was on one side of the scale and then Asia Argento, like having sex with a 17-year-old boy was on the other side of the scale, it wouldn't quite, And also, why let any of it slide? Why don't we just deal with all of it?
Yeah. Can I just say, like, I'm not saying what she did is right or wrong, but can I just state the facts here, right?
Nice.
On one hand, she was saying that Harvey Weinstein raped her. That's a whole separate issue. The other hand, she had consensual sex with a boy. In England, where we live, the legal age is 16.
Yeah.
In, I don't know, a lot of the states in the US, the legal age is 16 or 17. I think some as low as 14 or something. Some countries are really low.
Yeah.
So I think it's really hard for me to judge.
Well,
If it was a grooming situation and he, I don't know what happened, mind games, whatever, it's wrong. But if it is just sex, sure, if it was underage, it's bad.
Yeah. Well,
Especially because of the age difference.
Yeah.
But-
And there has to be, listeners, we're not arguing against there being an age limit for sex here, guys, right?
No. No.
It's just grey areas, right? Is what you're
Yeah.
saying. Like,
It is a grey area because he's
16 years old and 18 years old is basically most countries are in 16 or 18, aren't they?
Yeah, or in between. Some are even less.
Look at Japan; they have like 13 or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a certain limit to it. You could go out with someone 16, but that would still seem like what the fucking.
What about then if, say, someone in England got with a 16-year-old and that was legal, and then
I'm not saying it's right.
No,
I'm just saying.
but then they were together for a year, and then they wanted to like move to America.
They'd have to get married first. That's what happened with
Technically, that you can do that in Texas, can't you? You can marry
your sister.
No, that's what happened in John Derek.
That's fine as well. Yes,
The director. So Bo Derek's husband.
Oh,
so basically, he met her when she was like 15 or 16. She was underage. They lived in Greece and got married and didn't return back to the US until they were 18. But then they did stay together for like a really long until he died.
That's great.
And you know, like that. No, I would say that is actually fine because you know, like maybe sometimes like how old was she?
She was young compared to him.
Yeah,
he was a very old.
Stayed together a long time because you got to look after her until she could get a job and move out. So
maybe not. Yeah,
it's a hypocrite thing. I mean, it's
Hypocrisy.
It's a
Hypocrisy.
it's a hippopotamus. You know? It's like the fact that I'm following the rules, but I'm just going to move to this country so I can marry him 3 years earlier.
It's like if you're constantly having to argue that, then maybe you should have a look at yourself and think, why aren't I dating people the same age as
So
me?
you're a paedophile? No, not in this country. I'm all right.
Hey, say that to me over here, man.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's just.
And you need to start thinking about it not in like. Yeah, you need to start thinking like, why does this person want to date someone that's like 30 years younger than them? That they probably have nothing in common.
Well, I don't think if we go back to Asia Argento, don't think there was 30 years in between. No. How long ago was this?
It's a hypocrisy.
Yeah, we told you that.
Yeah. So this whole thing, it was actually quite. How old is Jimmy Bennett now? He's like
he's in his 20s.
22 or something around that.
So only 5 years ago. And she's what, 30s, 40s?
She's well into her 30s,
I reckon.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's still a hefty age difference. The thing is, it's a grey area. It's not one for me to judge. Purely because I don't actually know what happened. Like she could have been grooming him. It could have been a fucked up situation. It could have been consensual. I don't know. The thing that really, really grates on me is that she said that he raped her, right?
Oh yeah, she tried to do that as well.
Yeah, so...
When you read these texts that she had with this Rain person, she's already talking about how she's going to defend herself, how she might combat it. With this whole thing, the Me Too movement is treating her like the sacrificial lamb, but she doesn't want to go that way.
What grates me is that she's been through that shit with Weinstein and probably others, so it's ridiculous. I don't understand. It's disgusting, really. I don't have much more I can say on her.
Well, that's... we kind of covered hypocrisy and some of the big names.
Yeah, we picked a few pervs.
Yeah. I mean... who needs to say anything about Weinstein, you know?
He's old.
Old news.
Dude, we have like 3 episodes devoted to him already.
We do. What a treasure.
Let me do my 6 degrees of separation.
How far have you gotten?
I got there. Ben Affleck to Asia Argento.
Yeah, how?
How did I get there? I'm glad you asked. Ben Affleck, Robin Williams, Good Will Hunting. Robin Williams, Al Pacino, Insomnia. Okay. That's the one that I had to fact check.
That's the one that you cheated on, you mean?
I already knew it. Okay, this is a good one. Al Pacino to Adam Sandler, Jack and Jill.
Oh, God damn.
The one where Adam Sandler plays him and his sister.
Oh,
Al Pacino's in that?
Yeah.
He was in that.
He's like an advert guy. Oh, God.
Adam Sandler to Carl or Dylan Sprouse, Big Daddy. Cole Sprouse, Big Daddy. Those Sprouse boys to Asia Argento in The Heart is Deceitful Above All Things. And I thank you.
You know what? That was fantastic, actually. Well done. That was
How many degrees was that?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6.
Wow, perfect.
That's why
perfect game.
I got it in 6 as well, but it was a different way.
Go on then.
Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, Good Will Hunting. Matt Damon was in Stuck on You with Eva Mendes.
Ooh.
Eva Mendes was in The Place Beyond the Pines with Ryan Gosling.
Nice.
Ryan Gosling was in All Good Things with Kirsten Dunst.
Nice.
Kirsten Dunst was in Marie Antoinette with Asia Argento.
Okay. Lovely stuff. Can I ask you guys a question?
Yeah.
If someone came out that they were like a horrible molester, who would be like the person where you were like, oh.
I'm already feeling some things I think I mentioned before we even started.
Paul Chuckle.
Is that the dead one?
That's the alive one.
Oh.
Harry Hill.
Harry Hill.
Oh, Ant molesting Deck. I don't know. They're all people that Americans
What
don't
about
know.
Tom Hanks would be about?
Oh,
Oh,
no,
God,
no,
that's
no,
like
no,
my
no,
heart has just been ripped out.
If Tom Hanks came out, I think I would have to I would literally spin out. I think I'd question myself a lot.
Yeah. He's
There'd
one of...
be no reason to live.
He's one of those nice guys. You're like, you see Dustin Hoffman, you're like, shit, he was a nice guy.
Is it as clear as you're either over this line or you're not over this line?
Oh, so you mean there's levels?
Tom Hanks is safe, but Dustin Hoffman isn't, and Kevin Spacey isn't, and all these other...
So what do you mean by that? Do you mean...
So I mean,
As in my love for them buffers anything they do.
Yeah.
Do you mean?
Yeah, man, he's fucking
No,
witty.
to be fair, no. If someone like Kevin Spacey, not Kevin Spacey, Tom Hanks did it, I think it would be.
What? Yeah, but what is it?
Did like sexually harass or rape or diddle kids?
What if he had sex with a 16-year-old girl and it was
When?
and it was mutual?
When?
As in, if it was like 50 years ago, I don't care.
If it was 50 years ago, it still happened, though.
Yeah, but he
Yeah, I
was
know,
16,
but he would have been
15 year old.
16.
Oh, he
He
was 16.
15.
Oh,
Then I'd have been like,
yeah.
good on you,
Of
mate.
course.
No, if he was, say on the set of Big, he got too into
The 80s. So
Oh, God.
That's the thing is, it would actually be more painful, and I'd be more upset and more annoyed because I love him more.
But do you not think that Tom Hanks was ever on a movie set in Hollywood where things got really sexist and all the men were like going, get your shirt off?
Everyone is at fault because they all just let anyone do whatever they want. If they're powerful men, like someone like Tom Hanks could easily stop Harvey Weinstein. He could have exposed him. How is it that all the people that worked
He
closely
exposed
with
himself.
How is it that all those people that actually worked with Harvey Weinstein said, I had no idea, and yet everyone else seemed to know? Even I had an inkling because we'd all heard the rumours, hadn't we?
Well, it was kind of like a joke, like an inside Hollywood joke, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it's not really much of a joke when it's...
Well, my point is they used it as a joke.
Yeah,
Like, don't go
exactly.
near him.
Like Family Guy, like they tried exposing him. All this shit. If people actually spoke out about it earlier, then we would have nipped it in the bud years ago.
I felt Tarantino had the best defense where he just admitted it and said, "Yeah, I just didn't do anything."
Yeah.
And I was scared. Meryl Streep
at
said
least
she didn't know.
No, Meryl Streep is trying absolute shit. She's probably one of the fakest people in Hollywood.
You think so?
Yeah.
Good actress, though.
Yeah.
Well,
Mamma Mia! Wow.
Mamma mia.
Meryl
That's more an ABBA's fault, though.
Meryl Streep, look, you guys think she's a great actress just because she's one of the only people in her generation still acting and getting prominent roles. If other people got a look in and there were female roles...
That's because she shut her mouth, innit? That's why.
Yeah,
Jesus.
to be fair, that's also it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she cozied up to all these people that were heinous human beings.
No, but okay, Tom Hanks. If you had to put a bet on
You keep
£100,
bringing up Tom Hanks.
because we've taken him as the guy that's like we've
is
all
your
put him on a
childhood, so-
we put him on a pedestal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like if you had to bet £100 and you found out the worst things he had done, would you bet that £100 you would still like him after that?
I can't. Purely because it's just, the more emotion you feel towards someone, the more you're going to be hurt.
Yeah, whenever you see someone, a nice guy of Hollywood, you start to realise, okay, they're a nice guy probably because they were trying to hide that. Or, you don't know what they're actually like. I just don't look forward to a Toy Story 4 with Tim Allen and Dan Costello instead of,
Yeah.
Tom Hanks.
That's what I'm saying about maybe we should just stop. I don't know. No, I don't mean what I was about
We
to
should
say.
just stop.
We should, stop talking about this? I think that was the problem.
Well, Tom Hanks, this is scarring you right now.
I think it needs to change the whole culture of the whole thing. It needs to change where it's not like a... Because it's like a boy... Like, it's the same with,
It's a
like,
boys' club.
if you work on a building site and if there are women on there, it would be horrible for the women on there. But if you worked in a school where it was mainly women, we're talking, like, in broad strokes here, and then a man went into there, it would be like a man going into the woman's, like, area of work. Does that make sense
Like
to you?
the toilets or something like that.
What?
I'm trying to work it out.
No,
And
like...
then Hollywood is a man's domain.
Yeah.
And women there are just visiting, and they're things to be
Oh,
looked
yeah.
at by the men.
Right.
And the men
They're
are in
objects.
charge. It's men in charge, and all men think the same. So if a woman complains to the top man, the men are going to have all the men's back, sort of thing. But we need women at the top that are going to be able to, like, do whatever they feel is right.
Yeah.
That's what needs
To
to
be
happen.
fair, that is true, because I work in a place that is basically full of women.
Yeah.
And we don't side with people based on their gender. We side with them depending on if they're an arsehole or not.
Yeah,
Pretty
but
much.
do you ever have conversations about men in
Of
there?
course we do.
But
That's another point I was going to make.
Do you ever paint with broad strokes about men? Like, I've worked in lots of staff rooms, and I've come in as a visitor, as you put it, and it's been like 7 women, and they're all sitting at their desks or sitting in the staff room, and they're having their normal conversations that they'd usually have, and then they've had to be like, oh, because I'm in there.
Oh, I've had that.
And they'll be like, oh, it's just men, isn't it? And it's stuff like that. And it's like, rather than saying like, you know, what's stereotypical that guys would say about girls, like, oh, yeah, oh, she's always moaning, rah, rah, rah. But then women will say like, oh, yeah, but it's just men, innit? Like, all they do is sit on their fat asses all day.
To be honest, like, I was not going to make that point specifically, but it is a double standard, because women can say whatever they want about men.
Yeah.
Like, if you watch a talk show, when you see a man rolling up and the female audience goes crazy, like, take off your shirt and, like, wolf whistling and stuff, you would never see that happening with, like, a female actress, because it's not appropriate.
Yeah. Does that still happen now? Oh, that's very, like, 90s Jerry Springer
No,
thing.
that shit still happens
that
now,
happening
because you've got,
now?
like, the internet boyfriends as well. And
The
fans
internet boyfriends?
as in people that are massive on the internet, and, like, they've got Tumblr and, like, Twitter and all the other medias that I don't understand around them. But yeah, there is a double standard. And yeah.
But is that because the statistics would say that men are more prone to perverse behaviour?
I don't think you're more prone. I just think it's ingrained in society. Because I don't
Really?
think anyone...
You don't think there's something in the...
No.
I think the facts would state that there's something in the brain that
Well, 'cause
makes men more likely to be sexually deviant.
No, I don't think that's true. I think it's just because we've lived in a patriarchal society for so long, where it's been the man's world, and a lot of men think they can get away with anything. I mean, you guys haven't gone around raping people. I don't think we can assume... Please don't.
No, I didn't say anything. I think so.
I don't think we can just assume that it's like ingrained in your DNA that you're going to rape people and harass people, because that's not true.
And so as a man, there's a bit of a complex about that, really, because when I see it, you know, when you see it comes up again and again and again, it makes me think, like, Jesus, if the percentages are this strong, like, to, like, how many people do this sort of stuff, like, maybe is there something in me that's, like, going to do that, or, like, something like that?
No,
or, like, at least one of my friends, maybe one of my friends is like that.
So you mean like a sort of chemical reaction in the brain, like that whole old saying that men think about sex more so?
Yeah, you know, like...
Because a friend of mine debunked that. She said it's bullshit. Like, she thinks that it's a saying that's gone cliche, because she knows people as well as herself that also think about sex a lot of the time as well.
It's true.
So,
Everyone has their moments.
Yeah, exactly.
But what I think is, if you're blaming on chemical reaction or DNA or something, that's you passing the buck. Everyone is responsible for their own actions. Sure, it's society that has made it so, but just because everyone's telling, like, you guys respect women, just because you live in a patriarchal society, you don't feel like you have, but men do run the world, and I just still don't understand why.
So maybe power's the problem then?
Yeah, power's the problem.
Because all my friends, all the people I know, they are not in any real position of power or anything like that.
Yeah.
We all work jobs, and we all have a boss, and we all earn, like, less than a normal amount of money. But maybe if we all lived in a world where, like, we could literally do anything and everyone loved us, maybe, you know, me or one of my friends would have, like... I'm just trying not to be unrealistically like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Because the stats would say that me or one of my friends, if we were in this position of power, would, like, do something terrible.
To be fair, you never know about your friends. You wouldn't know about yourself.
Yeah, that's true. I'm just, I don't know, I'm just trying to, I just threw a weird one in there.
Yeah.
Well, power can corrupt, can't it? I mean, it depends what kind of position you're in. I mean, do you mean like a small boss role, or are you talking about a conglomerate Hollywood?
You know,
global?
like the Afflecks have been being praised for the last 30, 40 years, and they can do whatever they want, and they know
30,
everyone.
40 years? How do you think they are?
Those classics.
30 or 40.
I feel sorry for their mum. Like, she raised them. I think, you know, we've probably drowned on a lot. Is there any other points you want to make before we wrap this up?
One more thing. That whole thing about genetics, I sometimes I feel that itself is a cop-out. So that whole thing, coming back to whole Casey and Ben's discussion about alcoholism, my genetic problems,
that's bullshit.
What I don't understand is, like, if you've seen stuff like that ruin lives, why are you going to go and do it?
Exactly. I mean, you've got to actively pick it up. You've got to actively get into it in order. You're not going to pick it up and go, well, there go my genes. I can't resist. You know, you have to. It's a lifestyle, and Hollywood is more prone to it than most.
Yeah.
I don't believe it's hereditary.
No, but it could be learned behaviour. So, like, if you see your grandfather and your dad turning to drink, then it's probably more likely that you would.
And that's just the family's weakness is getting into addictions, I suppose you could say. Again, I'm not an expert on what's hereditary and what's not, but I don't believe it's a genetic problem.
Do you want to hear a joke?
Go.
What's the similarity between diarrhea and hair colour?
Go.
They both run in your genes.
Oh, God. And with that, I think we should bid goodbye to Alex for the rest of eternity.
Am I never coming back?
Where's my beer?
Oh, are we going to invite Alex back or not? I don't know yet. I still haven't decided.
Oh, I feel like I've been buggered.
I mean, I've got more jokes.
Please don't. Oh, we actually had Mexican just before this as well.
Big up Chilangos.
Big up
Chilangos.
Sponsored by Chilangos.
We can't say that.
Well, can we say that we ate some Chilangos?
Yeah, maybe they'll give us free stuff if we're ever famous.
Yeah,
I love that Chilangos.
It was lovely.
Yeah, Chilangos. I love the lemonade.
I love a good burrito wherever I go.
And it was cheap. It was easy. It was quick.
That doesn't sound nice.
Let's not get back to the topic we were just talking about.
But back to the Mexican food.
So, I think, that's it for today. Not because we don't have enough to talk about. I mean, we could go on for hours and hours and hours. In fact, we actually have gone on for hours.
It is a Pandora's box, let's face it.
I mean, maybe we can get back to it at some point, but hopefully. Hopefully you'll hear from us soon. We don't actually know when this is going to air, so I think we should maybe put a disclaimer on saying, by the way, this was recorded way in advance, so if people go raping since then and we haven't spoke about them, then that's why. It's not because we're just ignoring them.
Also, don't go raping.
Yeah, don't go raping.
That's a big
Please
no-no,
don't.
guys.
Please don't go raping.
And should we say, like, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year?
I'm pretty sure we're going to air sometime in 2019.
I can't believe Arsenal won the league. I can't believe Chelsea won the league. I can't believe Man City won the league. Just one of them.
I can't believe Iraq put a man on the moon.
What can't you believe, Chris?
Bye.
And Matt, if you're listening to us from prison...
Oh, yeah, sorry, Matt.
Yeah, that will actually get you more jail time because you're not allowed phones in prison. So fuck off. So bye.
I can't believe Tom Hanks was a paedophile.
Hey!
Oh, no!
No!